Hello, everyone. I'm not sure. I can't see myself, so I'm assuming you are able to see me. Uh, Welcome to the last session of our DeepTech Innovation Week. We had an amazing set of sessions till now. We started with Industry 4.0. Day 2 was FinTech. Day 3 was Cloud Identity and Management. And today our focus has been on cybersecurity. We started our day with an amazing panel discussion joined by senior executives from the IT and the security world. We had the CIO of Costa, CISO of 118118 Money, a fintech lending company out of UK, and also the CISO of PayU Finance, a fintech payment company out of India. They discussed two main things. One, they spoke about that we are as a global, globally we are always in conflict. We are always in crisis. We are always moving from one challenge to the other challenge. And of course, it was a big problem for the cybersecurity professionals and leadership to manage stakeholders, to continue to do business, to manage costs, and but at the same time defend themselves against various attacks. They spoke about two areas. One, how do we use zero trust framework to possibly say that trust nobody and always verify. We saw that session just before this session of how Block Armor is able to provide that framework, and they presented a case study, joined by a senior leadership, cybersecurity leadership from an Indonesian telecom company. The second area that the panelists spoke about is specifically on the conflict, the Ukraine-Russia conflict, and how it has been played out not only in the physical world but also in the cyber world. The threat actors, the dark web, the areas that each of these countries are trying to get over one another. That one is attacking a country, the other is defending its assets. It's a fascinating battle. While we have seen this battle taking up different shapes and forms in the physical world, it's the same thing happening in the cyber world as well. And today we are going to speak about it. We're going to show you certain findings of from our portfolio company, which is monitoring the dark web on a real-time basis. They will show you from a timeline standpoint of how things have moved over the last 15, 20 days and how cyber attacks have really increased, how the cyber attacks have moved from specific enterprises to big government establishments. These findings are obviously massively, while they are fascinating, but the other side, it opens up a massive area of concern. Is there a way for us to defend ourselves in the cyber world? Let's hear from Cybele, a platform, a company that is in the news over the last 1 year. This company, of course, was founded only 2 years back, but now with their ability to do threat intelligence in the dark web, they are able to find things that you and I on the surface web can't find. I would request the speaker from Cybele, senior analyst and research professional from Cybele, to join me today. Dhanalakshmi, thank you for joining in. Dhanalakshmi, of course, comes from a very wide range of experience in the cybersecurity world, looking at various aspects of intelligence, dark web intelligence, threat actors analysis, and does a lot of research around it. And today we are going to hear what she and her team is constantly finding with regards to the cyber threat and the cyber warfare that is currently going on between Russia and Ukraine. Dhanalakshmi, welcome to this stage. Over to you.
Thanks, Sandy. Hey, thank you everyone for joining us today in our session. Today we are going to discuss a topic that has been dominating the headline for past few weeks. Yes, the Russia-Ukraine conflict. While this physical military conflicts was started in late February, a more subtle warfare that is not as tangible as the war, tangible as missiles or bombs, but that can have the similar adverse impact on nation states. Yes, we are talking about the cyber warfare that has been ongoing between Russia and Ukraine. In our today's discussion on Russia-Ukraine conflicts and its impact on cyberspace, we will be covering outbreak of cyber warfare, various threat activities and its sectoral impacts, and ongoing various threat actors' orientation between these nations, target attacks on critical infrastructures. Then we will be discussing about the different sanctions on Russia and their impact on IT-enabled services. Then moving on with the activities which are influencing the cyber strategies, and finally we'll be discussing about the R predictions and implications of cyber warfare between Russia and Ukraine. Let's move on with what happened. Basically, a full-fledged cyber warfare has broken out between Russia and Ukraine. Massive cyber attacks have been launched against Ukrainian banks and government websites by Russia on February 24th. Later on February 27th, Ukrainian government assisted by the certain pro-Ukrainian actors launched their own strike in retaliation to cyber warfare against the Russian state actors. In our today's presentation, we will go in detail about various cyber threat activities and their timeline. As we see in our presentation, like this cyber warfare was started like much before the actual war outbreak between Russia and Ukraine. On January 13th, the destructive malware called WhisperGut has been identified targeting Ukrainian organization. On the very next day, the another malware family, which is called Cyclops Blinks, again targeting Ukrainian systems and networks. Later on January 19th, the well-known APT group, which is called Primitive Bear APT or Gimeridian group, started again targeting Ukrainian organizations with its enhanced tool sets and malwares. And the outbreak actually happened with the series of DDoS attack against Ukrainian banking and government infrastructure, which was carried out on February 15th. Then later on, along with this threat activities and DDoS attacks, even threat actors started targeting Ukrainian organizations like Kasida has announced the defacement attack will be carried out on 22nd February against Ukraine. Then later on, the notorious threat actor who is named NetSec started targeting US defense organization, which includes DTIC, TRADAC, SOCOE, etc. Moving on, we can see now the escalations of cyber attacks after the outbreak of full-fledged war between Russia and Ukraine on Feb 22nd. During the February 23rd, even another destructive malware, which is named as Hermetic Viper, target discovered Ukrainian infrastructures such as websites, banks, and government entities, etc. On the same time, the redactor Free Civilian claimed to deface Ministry of Internal Affairs of Ukraine. Later on the very next day, the NetSec claimed to compromise software program managed and developed by US Army. At the same time, the dataset of 90K PII records belonging to undisclosed US intelligence agency was leaked by Datafor, actor named Datafor. Then, and in Feb 25, again NetSec released an email and encrypted passwords allegedly belongs to FSB and Lockheed Martin corporations. Enhanced with these threat actors, the well-known ransomware group called Conti ransomware announces on the same time like they are targeting the Russian government. During February 26, 2022, Ukraine started its retaliatory attack against Russia by forming the Telegram channel, which is called IT Army of Ukraine. Then followed by multiple threat actors such as Against the West, Kelvin Sec, Network Battalion 65 started targeting Russians as part of retaliatory actions. These are all the attacks we have seen, ongoing attacks which was observed in Feb 28, late in February and beginning of March. In continuation of these attacks, uh, March 2nd, the notorious ransomware group, which is called Stromas ransomware group, announces their support to Russia in targeting Ukraine and its supportive or friendly nations such as US and other countries. And then in March 3rd and March 4th, there will be like multiple attacks carried out by these ransomware groups as well as threat actors on against Ukraine as well as US-based MFT automations. We still observe the ongoing cyber warfare between Russia and Ukraine. Based on our analytics on affected organizations from Ukraine, US, and Russia, uh, we observe that the prominent sector which has been impacted by the cyber warfare between Russia and Ukraine is government sector with 48 percentage, and then followed by information technologies was the second most targeted or impacted organizations with 24 percentage, and then financial institutions and manufacturing institutions are with 12 percentage, and we did observe a small portion of attacks towards energy sector. As the cyber warfare escalated, several high-profile TAs were aligned with these both of these nations and started participating in the cyber warfare. The threat actors such as Against the West, Spectre, Kelvin Security Team, Network Battalion 65, Anon Host, and other anonymous collectives were aligned with Ukraine and carried out the retaliatory attacks, cyber attacks against Russia. And the actors who are aligned with Russia are Kazida, NetSec, Free Civilian, Conti Ransomware Group, and Stromas Ransomware Group. As we see in the screenshot, the one of the prominent threat actor who is named NetSec, also known as Carfax, who has been like circulating and targeting and breaching multiple organizations and government sectors in Ukraine, as well as its supporting nations like US Army forces. On the other hand, against the West, helping Ukrainian government in the retaliatory cyber attack against Russia. And the one most prominent ransomware groups such as Conti and Stromas ransomware groups has issued a warning stating that they are in aligned with Russia and they are targeting multiple organizations and government sectors in Ukraine as well as Russia. So, along with these cyber attacks and APT attacks as well as threat actor attacks, we have also evidenced targeted attacks on critical infrastructure during late Feb as well as starting of March. So these critical infrastructure attacks started from 25th February, targeting the Gazprom, one of the oil and gas supplier in Russia, and followed by Belarus Railway got hacked, and then the EV station near Moscow also got hacked, and then there are multiple leaks which is related to NICA and JINR SCADA compromises. Lately, we observed the targeted hack on the water supply of Russian water supply system.
Yes, thank you, Dhanalakshmi. We will request the audience to go through a poll. Dhanalakshmi, if you can keep your slides back, please. It's fascinating information that you've been sharing till now. Of course, what we see is a massive amount of cyber warfare going on between the two countries. As we go through the information and process this information, I'm sure you right now showing things which are till 5th of March. And I know that you have a real-time platform that is looking at the dark web on a regular basis. So while what you're showing is a few days back the information, I would assume that it's got escalated massively over the last 10 days as well. But till the time that happens, if you can just put that presentation on. We've requested the audience for a quick poll to look at how do you really respond in case of attacks on industrial control systems, right? Because that's how that's a critical asset that the government owns. Uh, Most of them, actually, every person, 100% of the votes is just follow the guidelines by government and international regulatory bodies. Basically, the audience is saying we got to be waiting for the government to tell us what to do. I think that's the answer that people are responding to. uh, Let me tell you, I'm quite surprised, and this also gives me surprises me and scares me a bit, because if you've not built redundancies, if you've not built safeguards as an enterprise, as an establishment against your critical assets, then it's a massive challenge. You've got to have real time information in your hand of what's happening about your digital assets on various platforms, and what are vulnerable assets for you needs to be protected by you, and not only wait for the government guidelines. Am I right, Lakshmi?
Yes, Sandy. Yeah.
Awesome. So we will go through this. We'll process this information, but handing it over back to you for the next information sharing, Lakshmi. Thank you very much.
Sure. Thank you, Sandy. So, as a response, we have discussed about the various attacks and APT attacks as well as threat actor attacks. As a response to this conflict, Western nations have imposed heavy financial sanctions on Russia. Let us discuss these sanctions and their impact and what we can expect to see as a result of going forward, right? Russian banks have been excluded from using UK financial system. Then, Russian banks were also being banned using international financial messaging system, which is called SWIFT, leading to the surge in cryptocurrency. And Russia has also been suspended from central bank organizations. And on top of all of this advisory effect to this big four subsidiaries such as Deloitte, KPMG, EY, and PwC have exited from Russia. So we suspect Russia may look into develop its own payment banking infrastructure with the help of their supporting nations. And we also expect there will be surge in VPN service usage for elite as well as legit purpose in the Russia. In Russia, basically, its internet services also been banned. So we expected surge in VPN services and usage. And we anticipate the increase in supply chain attacks on the global organizations based out of Russia and Ukraine. And as the cybersecurity industry observed the changes in threat landscape that reflects increase in destructive malwares, which has caused explosion in steel mills and gas pipelines. If this goes unchecked, it will be result in wider global impact, which was evidenced during the 2017 NotPetya cyber attack. And activities influencing cyber strategies. Okay, how do firms change their cybersecurity strategy to adapt to a full-fledged cyber warfare? Yes, they can do it. by continuous monitoring of the threat actors and their activities for early warning and prevention. And this can be achieved by implementing and use of robust threat intelligence model or platform which has proven dark web intelligence along with the along with the malware intelligence. Sandy, over to you.
Yes, thank you, Dhanalakshmi. Another poll question coming up for the team or the audience here. I request the team to publish the poll, please. Thank you. So guys, this is a massive issue. Of course, we want to understand how are you as and your organization adapting to the strategy in light of this conflict. As we saw, there is massive amount of cyber warfare going on between the two states. The issue is not about this crisis alone. I'm sure what we are trying to mention is it's also about how do we safeguard from another crisis. Another crisis just around the corner, I'm sure, because we are going through one challenge over the other, one problems over the other, one crisis over the other, and we cannot be waiting for someone else to let us know what needs to be done. So the question is, how do you take this in your account and work towards adapting a strategy, and the answer, of course, that we're getting from the majority of the audience, Dhanalakshmi, is reconfiguring our security posture. Uh,
That is
30% of them have of course limited the interactions with certain IPs and vendors and clients. But I would assume the reason why they've done only 33% of them have been able to do it because of transparency. They don't know which ones to limit. It's important for you to also have access and information about which are my supply chain vendors, which are my third party contractors, which are my third party, the external companies that we are dealing with as an organization, whether they are in Ukraine or in Russia, and how do we limit ourselves, with interactions with those companies. It's a tough job, because
absolutely.
if you don't know which ones to limit, then there's a problem, right? So that's the answers that we're getting from this audience. Quite a learned audience, I might say, in this case, that they are reconfiguring quickly their security posture per se.
Absolutely right.
Over to you, Dhanalakshmi.
Thanks, Andy. Then, lastly, we are going to discuss about our predictions and implications of this cyber warfare. We foresee there will be increase in cybercrime activities, especially by state-backed actors, and there will be larger upticks in ransomware attacks, possibly focused on supply chains. And the state-backed redactors will be incentivized to gather the cyber currency assets, I mean cryptocurrency assets. There will be surge in critical infrastructure attack, targeted exploit and phishing attacks worldwide. And we suspect and there will be an cyber attack spillover to the global community. Similar to, there might be the cyber attacks spill over to the global community, similar to 2017 no petty attack. We at Cyber Research, researchers at Cyber Labs are continuously monitoring the cyberspace to uncover the latest cyber incidents in light of ongoing geopolitical crisis. And Cyber platform, which is called Cyber Vision, which provides the detailed intel dark web on dark web and deep web and surface web as well. And please go through our website cyber.com to know more about Cyberland, its product and its offering. Thank you.
Thank you, Dhanlakshmi. Thank you for this insights. As we had mentioned earlier, if you can just bring down the slides. Yes, thank you very much. Uh, we are expecting certain questions to come in from the audience. Of course, I will ask you to respond on those. But as I mentioned earlier, fascinating topic, very dynamic as well. And I'm sure your platform is looking at threat intelligence on a real-time basis. So what is available from your platform is for organizations to, on a real-time basis, check what are their digital assets getting exposed in the dark web, and of course take corrective actions based on that. Uh, there's a question that has been asked: who, according to your data, has an upper hand in this cyber war between Ukraine and Russia?
So it is a trivial question to answer, but as per our understanding, like this cyber warfare has been initiated by Russia, but as a retaliatory action, Ukraine started attacking back them on the cyber warfare. It's both the hands of like they were enhanced and participating in the cyber warfare continuously. It's still ongoing cyber warfare.
Right, right. And I don't think there is, as much as I understand cyberspace now, it's an ever evolving change, right? I mean, one company, one person, one threat actor may have an upper hand right now, but there will be someone else who can have the upper hand in the next 1 hour or 2 hours, depending on what they're targeting, and things like that. And in a war situation, you're not targeting one company, you're not targeting one institution, you're actually targeting a multitude of institutions and establishments. And depending on whether your defense mechanism is good enough as an institution, and are you able to take very immediate actions, and we are agile in making decisions, you could safeguard yourself. But in a war-like situation, I don't think anyone can have an upper hand today, or it's ever changing as a situation. But yeah, it's a
Absolutely
good
right.
point. It's a good point to, as we see, as you rightly said, there is, of course, Russia started it all way back in January, while the physical action actually happened in late Feb. It was 45 days before when they started off these attacks on the Ukraine establishment. So that's fascinating to know. Fantastic. Then, Lakshmi, from your platform standpoint, how does your platform really make a difference? Because if I am in part of this establishment, whether I'm in Russia or Ukraine, can I use this platform on a real-time basis and check what are my digital assets exposed, and can I take corrective action on an immediate basis, or I have to wait for things to cool down?
No, yes, Sandy, our platform Cyber Vision, which is focused on from surface to deep dark intel, and which provides the digital risk posture of any organization, starting from dark deep web on a real-time basis, and their exposures on the surface web as well. And based on our inputs from cyber vision platform, you can able to like make a decision immediately as soon as you receive the intel from us, which includes the threat actor intelligence, as well as like your security posture of your organization, with along with the actionable intelligence, which can help to change the organization security posture immediately, and safeguard your assets from the cyber attacks.
Got it. Got it. There's another question which is from 5th of March, where the data is not currently shown. How is it going for Ukraine as far as facing the attack?
Sorry, could you please repeat the question, Sandy?
Yeah. So how is it? How is Ukraine responding over the last 10 days? Because your data is till 5th of March. So we've not seen the last
Yes,
10,
yes,
12 days.
yes, absolutely. Yeah. So post March 5th, yes, there has been like multiple malware attacks, even cyber attacks carried out between Russia and Ukraine. Even Ukraine is responding back to Russian attacks. And we are capturing those attacks on real time, and we will be like releasing our write-ups on community on regular basis. So it's still ongoing. It is
Yeah.
as similar to as in the starting of March.
So I guess this is, and we spoke about this at the backstage. I think it looks like that the war, the way the physical war is going, is the same way the cyber war is also going on, right? It is mirroring the situation on the ground in the cyberspace. That is quite amazing because there's no one who's winning the war yet. I mean, no one's, no, while Ukraine is defending extremely well physically, Ukraine is also defending itself well in the cyberspace. On the other side, Russia seems to be quite relentless, both in the physical space as well as in the cyberspace.
Yes,
So it's
absolutely
quite
right.
quite an amazing thing. Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
There's a
and
question. There's a question coming. Yeah, please go ahead.
yes, moreover, when it comes to the critical infrastructure attack, right, that will help them to like delay in terms of like delivering the troops in the borders, and which is again like on the other hand, back end, it is helping the nations to fight in the real warfare as well.
Sure, sure, sure. The question coming in: how do you check security posture of an organization?
So, regarding the security posture of the organization, our brand production will check for their asset exposures across the internet with the vulnerabilities, and in case if there is some infringement to their domains, etc. And through our dark and deep web intelligence, we do like continuously scan and monitor the dark and deep web to identify their exposures like data leaks and breaches, etc.
Sure, sure. Yeah, and I've also seen the platform, and it's just fascinating because you basically are, going into as we say, right? I mean, if you want to have any information on a real time basis, you Google it on surface web. We cyber it on the dark web, right? Because
Right.
you've indexed the massive portions of the dark web, which is not an easy thing to do. Indexing the dark web is not easy. Having access to some of the cybercrime forums is not easy, and what you are basically presenting is real time information, though it is not as real time for the audience as we see it right now, because we actually couldn't show real time information as things are evolving. That's why we've taken a cutoff of the 5th of March. But the whole idea was to present to the audience that it doesn't start now. If you do not monitor the dark web for our assets, for our digital assets, whether it's our PII information, whether it's our company's digital information, if we do not do it on a real-time basis and for a long-term basis, it is close to impossible for us to protect ourselves,
Absolutely.
which is quite amazing, Dhanalakshmi. Dhanalakshmi. We are getting a few questions more, but I'm going to, because of paucity of time, I'm going to conclude the session today. Thank you very much for your insights. I will request the audience to continuously monitor and go through your website, the information that you guys are sharing about various attacks and conflicts that are going on and how it is impacting the cybercrime forums. Amazing information that you guys share. So requesting the audience to also go in and check on that.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thanks, Sandeep.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Dhanalakshmi. Guys, thank you very much. This brings us to an end of our Deep Tech Innovation Week. I hope you enjoyed the last 4 days. It was an honor for me personally, and I'm sure for the entire team at Network Science to host you all across multiple platforms that we've gone live with. We were live not only on this platform, we were also live on LinkedIn. A lot of you joined us on LinkedIn for all the sessions. As we started the week, we are working towards changing the world with deep tech innovation. Our belief is deep tech has the ability to bring in significant impact and change in participating towards our three big purposes. One, we want an inclusive society. Two, we want to have a net zero environment. And number three, we want to help our industries and enterprises to transform themselves. In working towards these core objectives, we believe that deep tech has the ability to do it. And as organizations innovate in implementing deep tech to meet these three purposes, we would be partners with these organizations in their innovation journey. This week was couldn't have been possible without the support of our portfolio companies. You saw 10 of our portfolio companies presenting their unique and pioneering solutions. So thank you very much for our portfolio companies for participating and presenting their ideas to the audience. This would also not been possible without the support of you as audience who registered for this event, who participated through the polls, asked a lot of questions and interacted with us through multiple ways and multiple forums. So thank you very much for coming in and participating and openly interacting with us. Last but not the least, I would like to say thank you to the entire team at Network Science. And if they are available, if I may call them on stage back today, please. All of you guys, Mansi, Aishwarya, Monish, Leena. Anyone else backstage?
It's us.
Fantastic. Is Leena? I can't see Leena there. Is she able to make it? Thank you very much, guys. Thank you very much for joining in. And this is the team that made it happen. Mansi, Aishwarya, Monish, Leena, thank you very much for all the support. I know this is not only 4 days. For me, it has been last 4 days, but for you, it has been possibly last 2 months. So thank you very much for all your help, all your support. It was brilliant to have you on our side making this happen. This wouldn't have been possible without you. Thank you very much. Any concluding words from you guys? Mansi?
Mansi has a lot to say, I'm sure.
Yes, of course.
We started off with the Deep Tech Innovation 1. I remember that was just a 1 month prep that we did, and the response that we got, that's when we decided to go ahead with the second one. And I think the next time is going to be much bigger, much better. So yeah, fingers crossed for that.
Of course. Aishwarya, this is the first time for you with Network Science.
Yes, it was amazing working with the team. Initially, yes, I was a little lost, but we were right on track all along for Innovation Week 2. So yeah, yay.
Awesome. Monish, again, for you, it's been the first time.
Yes, first time for me as well. I was really excited to be a part of this event. I've heard a lot of what happened in the first session, first time when this happened, and being a part of this was amazing.
Absolutely. And of course, don't mute yourself. It's Leena. We have to hear from Leena, right?
I'm giving her.
Yeah. Of course.
Sandy, I think this Innovation Week was bang on with amazing leaders, speakers, you, and the rest of the team. And I'm sure that the next will be even better.
No, absolutely. I think
Bigger than this.
this. Yeah, I mean, I'm incredibly proud of the work that you guys have put together, and it's not only you. I'm sure there are so many others. The Zadul team, the various other external partners who've come together to make this all happen. So a big thank you to all of them as well. A big thank you to all the other network scientists who have supported us all throughout. They've all worked very hard. This is an event that I'm incredibly proud of. what we bring on the table is very unique and pioneering way. It's not easy to do 4 days event. It's not easy. It's not easy to bring in some amazing sets of panel members. If you just put together all the panelists, you will see some real amazing firepower out there. So it's not easy to put all of that together and give everyone a very seamless experience. Thank you once again. Thank you, friends, for joining in. We will see you back on the version 3 of DeepTech Innovation Week very soon. Thank you.